Welcome to the video key for Algebra Do Now 29.3, and here we go. We got x squared minus 25, and that could be expressed as x squared plus 0x minus 25. And so what are two factors of negative 25 that add up to 0? So I'm going to set up my nice little x. So multiplication, addition. So I want to add up to 0, and I want to multiply to get negative 25. And it turns out 5, I can say negative 5 and positive 5 will do the trick. Okay, and if I were to be dealing, and so since we've got x squared minus 25, I could go ahead and factor this and say x plus 5 and x minus 5 using this tool. And I now actually have the two linear equations that would be the factors of this. But that's not the answer to this question. The answer to this question specifically is 5 and negative 5. Now we're going to expand x plus 5 times x minus 5, which is what I have here. Let's prove that that actually is going to be x squared minus 25. So x times x will be x squared. That's my x times x. And I'm going to do x times negative 5, so minus 5x. And then 5 times x, so that's plus 5x. And then my x, that's going to be, 5 times negative 5 will be minus 25. Okay, and I'll put all that together, and the 5x and the minus 5x become plus 0x, and then we just have x squared minus 25, which is what I told you these two factors that add of negative 25, which add up to 0, would help us get. So there you go. Those are the factors of x squared minus 25. We multiply them together, we get x squared minus 25. And we'll try it with this one. In this case, I'll use blue. And we're trying to find two factors of negative 144. And we want them to add up to 0. Now, question 3 has some similar numbers. It's not exactly the same. So we're going to end up with, we can say negative 12 and positive 12. Now, there is a pattern here that I want you to be looking at and noticing. Notice that I have if I wanted to, I could factor out x squared minus 144 into x minus 12 minus the square root of 144 and x plus 12 plus the square root of 144. And this will produce a difference of squares. Those factors, of course, were negative 12 and 12. And when we expand x squared minus 12 times x plus 12, you can expect we're going to get x squared minus 144. So x times x is x squared, and x times 12 is 12x. X times negative 12 would be negative 12x, and you're going to notice those are going to cancel out. And negative 12 times 12 is negative 144. That all together. These two cancel out into a 0x, and I'm not even going to bother writing it. It's just x squared minus 144. Now, the last one, we're not going to have stuff canceling out. Actually, we're going to have stuff doubling. But we want two factors of 144, positive 144 this time. So they're factors of that add up to 24. Okay, well, we already know that 12 times 12 is 144, so we can just say 12. And 12, because 12 plus 12 also equals 24. So those are our factors, 12 and 12, and they will work as our sums. And of course, I can take this another step, and we could factor x squared plus 24x plus 144 into this using this little tool. By the way, doing exactly this will only work if the lead coefficient, the coefficient of x squared, is 1. So there's a 1 in front of there. We can still use this tool, but it's a little more complicated than just saying x plus and x plus. We'll get to that later. So x squared, x plus 12 plus times x plus 12. I'll do the x times x first, x squared, and then 12 times x. And look, I'm doing 12 times x again. I could just say 2 times 12x. And then 12 times 12 is 144. In fact, that's what I'm going to set up in the next row. I only have to do this 12x once and then multiply it times 2. This is a perfect square structure here. And so we've got x squared is going to be plus 24x plus 144. I could have written the whole thing as I take x and I'm going to square it. And I'm going to say 2 times 2x, 12x, which is the product of the first and the last. Just say the first and the last of any one of these. So x times 12 times 2 gets me my middle. And then plus 12 squared. So this is a perfect square structure. And this is some of the stuff from level 6 that you'll be dealing with. So I'm trying to set you up for recognizing the perfect square structure. So perfect square because x plus 12 times x plus 12 could be said as just x plus 12 squared. I'm multiplying the same thing times itself.